Hello and thanks for watching. Today I have for you my Marlin 1894 CSBL rifle. It's chambered in .357 Magnum. It also accepts .38 Special. So this is of course a Freedom Group made rifle. Marlin is owned by the same company that is owned by Remington, and a lot of you probably have heard the horror stories of early model Remington made Marlins, also known as Remlins. So I can tell you first off that I have not had any problems. Hopefully you've seen my range overview when I went out and I shot my rifle. I was using the LAX newly manufactured .38 Special. Like I said, no malfunctions whatsoever. This rifle has approximately 150 rounds through it. See, it's all been .38 Special on top of that. So anyway, starting with my rifle sling here, this is a Savoy leather sling. They're out of Oklahoma. They mostly do custom holsters. I would consider them on the high end. From their pictures, they do fantastic work on the holsters. I can tell you from the slings, it is beautiful work. Says "We the People," of course. Anyways, with the rifle itself, starting with the buttstock here, shooting .38 Special, there is no kick whatsoever. I've had people that I know personally watch the video and comment about how there's little to no recoil. I mean, this a lightweight rifle for what it is. But with the .38 Special, and you have this very thick butt pad here, it just soaks up all that recoil that may or may not even be there. Shooting .357 Magnum, it might be a little bit more noticeable. I've yet to even shoot any out of it, unfortunately. The stock itself, I'm pretty happy with the fit and finish. Maybe on this side here you have a small gap, a little bit more noticeable than on this side. I have had to contact Remington or Marlin a couple times for this rifle. I'll get to that in a little bit, but for the fit and finish itself, you know, I think it's very acceptable. It came with this stainless steel hammer spur. I'll go ahead and show you the rifle is empty. With the hammer spur itself, it doesn't mention it anywhere in the instructions, but apparently you have to fit it to your hammer. Which is all fine and dandy, but again, it doesn't make mention of that inside of the instructions. So whenever I first got the rifle, I attempted to put it on there, and it wouldn't go over the hammer. And I checked the interior of the spur here, and it looked very rough from machining. And I knew I could just take a file and, you know, knock some burrs off of it and probably get it to fit. But at the same time, I knew that I'd heard the stories from the Remington made Marlins, and I wanted to have a good out of the box ready to go product. So I emailed them the day after Christmas whenever I received the rifle. They asked for my serial number and an address to send new parts to, and probably a week later I had them at the door. And again, the same problem, although the interior of the spur looked good. So I got onto a Facebook group and asked them if they had any problems, and they said they had to fit it. And so that's what I did, knocked off some metal with a file, and so it's attached with an Allen head here. You definitely have to put some Loctite of some sort on the threads, because it will back off. Anyways, moving forward, you have your stainless receiver you have your big loop lever. Some videos, mostly with the SBL models, then they get into a bind and you just gotta seem to work it to get it to unlock, but I haven't had any action problems. I mean, it's very smooth. It's not Taylor Cody action work smooth, but definitely very smooth compared to my my 336 3030. That is a JM stamp model. Loading gate is a very common Marlin complaint. I'm not going to try to load it for you, but I don't really have a complaint about the loading gate. There are aftermarket parts, accessories, so that you can get a lighter spring on that loading gate. And they say, you know, it won't pinch your fingers, but I've never gotten my fingers in there to get them pinched. I'm sure it would be an improvement, and that may be something I do if I get bored. But again, I've had zero problems loading any of my Marlins, so I don't think I'll actually ever make that change. But if that's a complaint you have, then there are parts out there. And again, trigger, you know, same deal. It does have the Marlin trigger. It's it's very stiff, to say the least. You know, if that's something that you don't like, you have your Wild West trigger kits available. And that is something that I may actually do in the future. On top of the rifle, it came supplied with excess rail and excess sights. You have a ghost ring sight for the rear, and then a white striped excess sight up front. And the excess rail is actually my second complaint I had with Marlin, because when it was installed at the factory, then you have your, let's see, I have a screw here, and yeah, they nicked it pretty good. Took paint off down to the metal. So I'm looking at my rail here, and I just have this big old shiny scratch. And you know, that should have been caught and never sent out, in my opinion. So I added that in my initial email, and they supplied me with a complete new rail and front, or sorry, just the rear sight. Might even sent me a front sight. I don't really remember right now, but definitely the rail and the rear sight. And thankfully they did send me the rear sight, because whenever I went to sight the rifle in, then you have a slotted screw here on each side of the aperture for your wind adjustment, and the left side came out no problem, but the right side was just so tight, ended up stripping. So I didn't completely strip it out. I went back up to the house, got my gunsmith screwdriver set that I did not have with me, but I should have, and I was able to finish getting it out, and I swapped out the needed parts with the parts I had gotten way earlier, and I was ready to go again. XS, I did contact them and ask for replacement screws, and they sent me some new ones, so no charge, free shipping, all that good stuff. They were at my door less than a week later from Texas. You have your checkered fore-end grip here, and it's again laminate gray stock, and like I mentioned earlier, you have a white striped front XS sight. The barrel length on this rifle is 16.5 inches. With 38 special, this rifle holds 9 in the mag tube and then 1 in the chamber. So if you go and watch my range video, you can count off the shots, because I know I guess the earlier models didn't hold quite as much, or maybe it was a misprint. I never really found exactly where the mix-up was, but this definitely holds 9 rounds of 38 Special just in the tube. 9 plus 1. So it's a very decent amount for small game hunting, or if you want to take down a deer with a 357 Magnum. Definitely something that I have heard people do. For me, this is just a plinker, which is why I've only shot 38 Special through it so far. And for what I use it for, it's just been a great rifle, and it looks great doing it as well. So anyways, it took me quite a while to get this video done, but if you have any more questions, if you want to know anything that I might have left out, then ask it in the comments below, message me. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, so you can reach out to me there. So thanks again for watching, and if you haven't invested in your local or national gun rights groups, I highly encourage you to do so. Thanks. Tactical Cowboy out.